Mate, the Heat is our adopted Gold Coast team. This Big Bash on the 22nd of December and the 1st of January is going to be one of the highlights in our city. So show a bit of love. Come and see the Heat bash up Hobart and Sydney. See you there.
What's the excitement and feeling around the Gold Coast with the Big Bash coming to town?
The excitement is that balls goes everywhere. There's non-stop action, great entertainment. The best part about it is it's really a family day out. So it's going to be good weather, on the Gold Coast. So bring your family, bring your wife, bring your girlfriends, bring them both.
And you're expecting pretty big crowds?
Absolutely, I think it'll be a sellout. So get in early, ticky-tack, and book in. And I tell you, you won't be disappointed.
Do you have a long-term view for cricket on the Gold Coast?
Our long-term view at the moment is get behind the Heat, and really that's Southeast Queensland team as far as Gold Coast is concerned, and we'd like to see them win the trophy. And if it's a long-term future and the crowd keeps swelling, they can't fit us all in, then and only then we would say maybe we look for Heat 2.
So potentially then you'll be thinking a Gold Coast Big Bash League team?
Well, that's the really a normal progression of it, because we have a lot of kids and superstars born here on the Gold Coast that actually plays in the various teams. So, and with the Gold Coast, I think the crowd will be the one who will be voting with their feet. If the stadium fill up, it'll be hard to keep saying no.
Do you expect cricket participation numbers to increase after the Big Bash and international cricket here on the Gold Coast?
I do. I mean, even for an old guy like me, when you go and see the guys hit it hard and smashing it over, you feel like, gee, I wouldn't mind doing a Masters game. And all the young kids, they're going to go there, see that, well, we want to have a go. It's healthy, hands-eye coordination, full talent. Of course we want to be one of them. That's what the kids will think.
And has the Commonwealth Games created a legacy for big events to be held on the Gold Coast in future years?
The Commonwealth Game was the catalyst for us to build the infrastructure that's needed to be a sporting event, no matter what event it is. And now the Gold Coast has recognised that we can put on world-class sporting events in our city, whether it be Big Bash Game or today a jump out of a plane for Skydive World Championship, and the list goes on.
Thank you.
All right, all good. Over to you, Ben.
Thank you.
So Ben, how exciting is it for the Brisbane Heat to be coming to the Gold Coast?
Very exciting. Obviously an extended Big Bash this year with a couple of extra games, so we're really excited to bring a couple of those games down to the Gold Coast. World-class facilities down here, as we saw with the Commonwealth Games and a few other sports, so we're really looking forward to it.
Have you spent much time down here yourself?
I have, yeah. We used to come down for most of our school holidays as a family. Mum, Dad, myself, my sisters, we all spent most of our time down at Burleigh Head, so we do know the area well.
Any specific childhood memories?
A lot of cricket on the beach, which is fitting because it's a Big Bash presser.
Cassie, looking back to BBL1, and you've been with the Heat since kind of day dot, do you ever think back to how much has been achieved in that time? We're playing in new markets, the women competition is kind of growing. Is that kind of something you look back on at all?
Definitely. I even think back before the inception of the Big Bash, when it was still state versus state. It was that much of a novelty that Andrew Johns was playing for New South Wales and we had nicknames on the back of their shirts. Even Fox Sports are showing some old games from 2011, 2012 now, and you can see just how far it's come from then to now.
How about your own form? Recently come back from Caribbean. You happy how you're bowling and batting?
Yeah, I spent some time abroad after the Big Bash at the IPL and then the Caribbean. Worked a lot on my bowling and a fair bit on my batting as well. So I'm pretty keen to bring those new skills to the Big Bash this year.
And a new tournament you're leaving for next week, Afghanistan Premier League. What is life like as a T20 gun for hire?
I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm about 3 months into being a gun for hire, as you call it. A lot more time at home, a lot more relaxed, but also probably more time abroad. And I'm getting to play as much cricket as I can, which was the sole purpose.
Yeah. And what are you expecting from the Afghani Premier League?
It's going to be tough conditions. All of our games are in Sharjah in the UAE. We've got 8 games in 13 days with 4 back-to-back games. So it's going to be hard work on the body, but I'm really looking forward to it.
Do you know much about their players or anyone in particular over there?
Not really, no. I've played a fair bit of cricket with guys like Mohammed Nabi, Rashid Khan, so they're exceptional players, and I'm sure there's going to be a couple more like that.
Yeah. Now that you've got that experience of IPL, CPL, soon to be Afghani Premier League, where does BBL rate amongst all those?
Look, it's different. BBL and IPL are probably the two icons of world cricket, but for me, Big Bash is far more difficult than all the other ones, which is a credit to the depth of our cricket ability in all states and all cities.
And this is your first season not really doing a Queensland Bulls pre-season. How has that been different for you?
I've loved it. Yeah, no 5 a.m. Punching of bags or running up sandhills or anything like that. So getting to do my own training in my own time is a lot more relaxing, and probably more ownership put on me as well.
Well, seeing as though you kind of join a team a week before a tournament, is the onus really on you? How do you prepare for going into a tournament where you're not with a team for a couple of months?
I suppose the positives and negatives of being freelance. The positives, you get to play a lot more cricket, but the negatives is if you're not looking after yourself and you have 1 or 2 bad tournaments, you can find yourself out of the system pretty quickly. So it's one of those things you really need to stay on top of your game 24/7.
And which Brisbane Heat players do you think are going to be the game changers for us this summer?
I think it's going to be the usual. Brendan McCullum, Chris Lynn, the Bash brothers. Joe Burns is probably a smoky, and young Jack Prestwich as well. I think looking forward to seeing him bowl fast.
Thanks, Cutsy.
Thank you.